Hi.
Whoa. Putting that box away. Gotta put that box away. I 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 gotta put that box under my desk. I gotta put that box under my desk. I gotta put that box under my desk. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Critical Beard Podcast.
Critical Beard Podcast.
I'm one half of your hosts this evening, the Cardinal, and this is
I'm Meatball.
he's Meatball.
A nickname that is forced upon me
Yeah,
every day.
stone cold racism. Um,
I'm not even Italian.
I mean, he is though.
I'm not actually. I did the genetic testing. No Italian in me. It's a long story. Anyway, continue.
Your last name is the most Italian name of all
Yeah, my
time.
first name is too.
Yeah, and your first name.
Again, long story.
We gotta go on a spirit journey.
No, I know where I am. I know where I'm from.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
do.
gotta go on a spirit. We gotta go on a thing.
All right.
Can we go? Can we do?
We can
Can we
go on
do?
the thing. We can do the
Okay.
thing. Okay.
Sick. Tight. Well, that's gonna be a while. So while we're waiting on that, let's maybe get into
Let's do the podcast.
let's do the podcast,
Let's do the
dude.
podcast.
Gotta do podcast.
Marty, we're gonna do the podcast.
Let's start with our favorite segment. What you playing?
What you playing? Oh, what am I playing?
Is it me?
I went first last time. You go first.
Oh, we gotta do we switchy?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure.
Big surprise here. I'm still playing God of War Ragnarok. I'm at the end-ish. No spoilers. Getting pretty spicy. Things have happened. Gasps have been uttered by my face.
Do the gods die at the end?
Gods, things happen.
Well, it's a God of War game. Gods always die. I guess it's not really that's kind of the selling point of the series, really.
Is
Do you
it?
want to rip gods' heads off and do other stuff to gods?
What games are you playing?
Yeah,
No, still
God of War 2. I played God of War 2.
God of War 2 was a good one. Two was the best of the original like trilogy, in my opinion.
Quadrilogy?
Well,
Quintology? Whatever.
technically, there's two PSP games.
Mm.
There was two games on the PS3. One was a prequel, but of the numbered games, there was only three. And then there's the reboot, and then there's the sequel to the reboot.
Video games are complicated.
Golly, am I right?
We went to school for this.
Yeah, that game is incredible. I cannot believe the production values. Like they keep pushing. It gets more and more and more and more crazy. It's like just when you think they've shown their hand, and then like the game's gonna go down on like kind of download, like a downhill, like
The download spiral.
the download spiral. It just like keeps doing crazy shit that you're like, what? Like, what is even this? Like, I don't know. And the side quest, I mean, you can spend like 25 to 30 hours doing side quests in this game, and it's like, it starts out like a linear PlayStation first party, game like a Last of Us, where you're just walking down corridors and doing stuff and exposition and you know uh emotions and things. But then it gets to a point where you're just like, yeah, no, you can just do whatever you want now. So
Nice.
still loving it even more. Like every time I play it, I'm in the home stretch now. I'm at the end game as what, or not post game, but the end game. I'm fighting the Avengers now. They've showed up.
Well, I mean, you got Loki and Odin and Thor, so I mean, you're not too
I
far off.
mean, and Captain America has shown up now. He's pissed, so I'm fighting him, ripping his head off. I already ripped his head off. Yeah. Um, good game. Also, hopelessly addicted to Pokemon Violet. Uh, still got issues.
Violet over whatever.
What?
What made you choose Violet over the? I don't know what the other one's called.
Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Um,
You said one
we
was more more techno-y, and the other one was
yeah, one's like futuristic, one's like more uh primal with its vibe. Um, I don't know. I don't want to be too much of a bummer, but it was the one that my brother-in-law who passed away was going to get, and I always go with the mainline one. I always go with the like Red, Pokemon, uh, Ruby. Like I always go with the like the first one, Sword. But he was gonna get that one. So like I decided to like change it up and get the one he was gonna get. Just to
in memoriam. That's awesome.
yeah, a little memorial. That's not right. Memoriam. Anyways, but yeah, I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. It's still very, it's still got its technical issues, but
They're probably never going to patch them.
I don't know, man. I got through No More Heroes 3 on the Switch, so
I got through No More Heroes 1 on the Wii.
No More Heroes 2 on the Switch is just like here's a really really bad open world with nothing to do. Like it's like, man, it still looks better than that game. So
His weapon is really cool looking, by the way.
oh man, that's gonna come up later. Almost made my list.
It's like a
His beam katana and
violent lightsaber. It's pretty rad.
And when you'd run out of energy, you had to like
yeah, remote. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I actually love those games. But yeah, I'm still loving Pokemon. It's still understanding its faults. I got real back into Marvel Snap because it just all it takes is a few games and you're back.
I'm there, baby. I'm there, baby. I think soon they're gonna patch in like PvP. So and like
what
stuff.
We could fight each other.
Yeah,
and then we could play cards after we were done fighting.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I can't. That's what that would really get me like, because I have 3 decks right now, and I have a destroyer deck which is all based around Carnage, and his killing. So I'll just like I'll throw Wolverine in there, who thrives on being destroyed because he respawns at a different location. I'll like Wolverine and then a squirrel in there, and like some other, and like a Ironheart who's like a 0, and then he'll just slash them all, and then he'll become like super powered. There's like the destroyer deck. I have an ongoing deck where like it's all based around the ongoing abilities, and then my third one is a movement deck which is all based around Heimdall and like Nightcrawler and stuff, where so everybody's just flying around. So it's like they never know like where you're gonna end up. They're like, okay, I'm playing all my cards over here, and I'm like Heimdall, and everybody just goes over here.
Yeah, I think my favorite aspect of the game, other than like the games only last like a minute and a half, it's freaking awesome. How much depth you can put in a game with like no mana ramp, and all games last like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's like, how can you have this much depth? It's the locations. I love the location. Like, every game is totally different from each other.
The RNG of those locations can make or break depending on what your loadout is.
Right.
Because like I'll have my movement deck, but then there will be the location that says any cards that move here to get destroyed, and it'll be in the very middle, and you're like,
it's like, why don't I have a Colossus?
like legit, it is probably in my like games of the year.
Oh, honestly, so far for me, like, I mean, I love Magic the Gathering, honestly. I mean, but they release so many cards. They release hundreds and hundreds of cards per year, and Like, I mean, I play casually, so, and I'm like, I buy proxies. Like, I'm not spending. If a card is like $5, more than $5, I'm like, I'll just buy a good looking proxy for $1 online
Yep.
because it's dumb. But Marvel Snap, it's fast, it's easy, fun. It's awesome. So.
Yeah, I haven't been this into like a card thing and since like Gwent and The Witcher. This is really just doing it for me. Like I just don't have a lot of patience, and like you said, the matches are over so fast, and like
Snappy.
they're snappy. Snap works so well with it because it's like there's the snap mechanic where you're like it's like the gamble, like hey, I raise you, and then there's the the fact that it's snappy and the Thanos snap, and it's like a three-way triple entendre.
Entendre.
But we could talk about that all
Well,
day. I want to know. Well, what I guess what can I ask what you're playing.
Other than Marvel Snap.
So you've been playing Marvel Snap.
Marvel Snap. I'm still going through Xenoblade. My I have to play it on the TV because my Joy Cons are giving out because it's Nintendo and whatever.
You're too rough on your Joy-Cons.
I'm not, man. I'm so gentle. I've gone through, dude.
I've had.
I don't play crazy stuff, you know. Like
I can let you. You can probably just borrow some of mine. I have like 3 or 4 pairs of them.
Joy Cons.
Yeah, none of them have ever gone out on me.
I've had 3 or 4 pairs go out.
Mm-mm. Not once. And I've played like Splatoon and Smash Brothers, where you're like flicking this
like, yeah, I don't like play games like that. I don't play action-oriented games. So like, I just have really bad luck.
I just played all the way through Bayonetta, which is just a freaking platinum action game where you're just flipping around constantly.
Right. I'll take you up on that. I'll take you up on that offer because
I'll let you borrow some.
Because like playing on the TV, it's not like I always feel dumb playing the Switch on the TV. It's like I want to play in the toilet. I want to play in the bed. I want to play at work. Like I want to play the Switch. Not playing my TV.
I will say the only games that I do not mind playing on the TV are grander scale games like or either games like Smash Brothers because I want to use an actual controller, but also games like Breath of the Wild or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or something that like just
yeah, but those are like interchangeable ones. Like you play them on the go because they're so sprawling, but also like when you're at home, you want to
like something like Pokemon. I will never play on the TV ever. Like I don't want to see that image blown up. But
other than that, no Magic. We have a weekly Magic gathering. we play Commander format every Sunday.
Oh.
We do that, but yeah, that's about it.
All right. Before we move on from this, I just want to know: do you have a favorite Marvel Snap card?
So far,
yeah,
not super high level. I'm like, I think my collection level or whatever is like 78 or something.
I don't want to say my collection level.
It's probably not as much as my friend Jacob's. He's in like freaking 500s or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like 320.
Yeah, no, I just really started like a week ago, maybe not even, maybe 5-7 days ago. But favorite card so far, I had to look at them, but off the top of my head as I pull it up.
The top of my head as I'm looking directly at them.
I like Odin. Iron Man's always a good finisher. I've only really made one deck based around Khazar.
Yeah, Khazar. You just have like a bunch of one cost guys.
Yeah. I have a majority of one costers that have ongoing or on reveal stuff, and I just pump them out fast. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't gotten really into deck building or like metagaming or anything. I'm just kind of feeling my way through, but it's super fun.
right now, I really, really like Heimdall a lot. He's a really good final because you play him and he moves all of your cards one space to the left, and he's also an 8 power, and so he could just completely like revamp the battlefield.
Entire game.
I also really like Hobgoblin because he's a -8, but he goes to the other side of he goes to the player's hand or the player's so you'll instantly give them a -8 some wherever you play it, which is those two cards are my favorite. Like, whoa, like you just know the guy's sitting there going, God damn it.
I have to get good at snapping because I'm not a gambling fellow, and it's kind of like poker. You kind of have to like kind of have to read your hand and then read what someone else is playing. Like, snap, snap.
Sometimes I just do it right at the beginning. I'm like, snap, come on.
Like, boom, you just psych them out.
But yeah, no, I like it a lot. Well, anyway, I guess
Game of the year, snap.
We should move to the topic of the show, which is video game weaponry. Which video game weaponry is your favorite weaponry ever made by in a video game to play on to with as?
Almost went into a Bill Cosby thing. The video game.
I ever tell you about the time of Metal Gear? So let's start off with our. Do we have honorable mentions?
I don't have any.
I don't either. Good. You start at your number 10, so doing top 10 favorite weapons.
I don't need any order, by the way. Like
mine are kind of in order, but they kind of not because I mean it's hard to this is all mine.
By like it's like quantify on cool factor. I don't know. So yeah, these aren't in any order, but I guess I'll do my number 10.
Yeah,
it might be my. Yeah, it's the newest game on my list. It's from Metal Gear Solid V. It's the water pistol.
yeah.
I love the water pistol. It's like say what you want about MGSV, like the gameplay. Like you can play the game practically however you want, and like playing with just the water pistol, and then just go around and just popping guys in the face and then CQCing them almost never gets old. Like it's just like
it comes in very handy when you're fighting Volgans.
It's perfectly silent. It can make sounds, so you can distract people. You can shoot people in the face, and it like stuns them for a half a second, so you can bum rush them. It's great. It's great, and it never runs out of ammo. It's a great weapon.
Right, that is Volgan, right? They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler, guys. Volgan's back, bitches.
Spoilers. If you haven't
Maybe
played the game.
Kind of. Yeah.
15.
Yeah, and they kind of. Yeah, the Volgan fight was probably the coolest.
Also, if you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5, you already don't even know who Volgan is, probably. That wouldn't tell you.
If you loved 3, you probably played V out of just obligation. So
yeah, at this point, it's just like, well, I just didn't get around to it.
Play it. I don't know. It's the same guy. But yeah, it's just like this super hard boiled, espionage action. He's got this like water pistol that's like really efficient, but not in a comical way, but like in like an actual logical, effective way. Like it's silly, but it's not silly at all.
Yeah,
like
I almost forgot about that weapon totally. It's good. Yeah.
You know why? There's like 18 million weapons in that game. That's why.
Yes, you do have 18 million. It's the exact.
There's so many weapons.
Yeah, my number 10 is also a gun. A much more effective gun. The Swiss Army knife of guns, as you will. The battle rifle from Halo.
That classic.
It's like Halo 2. I mean, that was the gun. That was the gun in Halo 2. It was just like
they're nice.
And just you get the reticle on the head, you move back and forth, and you go dead. 3 shots. You know.
I spent a lot of time playing the first 2 Halos.
Yeah.
Very, very good memories.
See, in Halo 1, it was the handgun. The handgun was broken as hell.
That pistol was OP.
Yeah, that thing was broken. And then 2, they were like, "Oh, the pistol's less good, but then we're gonna give you the BR." It was more balanced though. The BR wasn't like overpowered. It was just I love it. Every time I play any Halo game, I'm immediately like, "Where the hell's the battle rifle? Just give me the. Do you want a sword? No, give me the battle rifle. You want a rocket launcher? No.
Oh, the spanker.
Don't give me none of that stuff."
I don't know. A rocket launcher called Spanker is pretty good.
The reason I don't like those guns in Halo is because you have a rocket launcher, but it has like what 3 shots in it. And it's like gone. 3 or 5. I can never remember.
I think.
But yeah, battle rifle. Not much I can say about it. It's just a stone cold classic.
It is it. Yeah, you're right. It's like a jack of all. Like it's just a really good basic weapon.
Yeah, and I like that they brought all the education.
I haven't played a Halo game in like more than a decade, and like the sound of the battle rifle is in my head.
That 3-round that burst.
Yeah, the burst. Yeah.
It was perfect. I used to love playing those rounds where like it was just everyone had battle rifles. There was no other weapon in the map, and just everyone had them. And it felt like Smash Brothers no items. You know what I mean? Where it was like you just turn off all items and everyone's just on same skill level, and you're all just using battle rifles.
Like a GoldenEye slaps only. That's what we used to. A bunch of 14-year-olds going around.
What was that slap? Was it a karate chop or was it a slap?
No, it was like the James Bond, the 60s. In the 60s, everyone karate chopped everyone like in the neck. Like, oh.
I know. I would have.
I've never done that to anyone. So I don't know how effective it really is, but
you should try it.
All right, I'll be over to pick up those Joy-Cons in a couple days.
I wake up. Where's all my Joy-Cons? Where am I? My kidney gone.
All right, so on to my number 9. My number 9. We talked about her earlier. It's Bayonetta. Her hair. So freaking cool. Like, an actual like an ingenious in-world design choice of having like her hair be her clothes and her weapons and her health. It's super cool.
It's like she summons the demons, the Gamora or whatever, which is like the demon she summons with her hair. And then in Bayonetta 3, she uses her hair even more. Like she summons like tons more different demons with her hair. Like it's just insane. Like and in 3, you can actually take control of the demon while she's using her hair, and obviously her like most of her clothes come off.
Right.
Which in
the appeal.
In the 3rd game, there's like an option to turn to like it's like safe mode or whatever, where she's not really naked. It's just like a bathing suit kind of thing. You know what I mean? But so she's doing like a summoning dance. Yeah, she's doing a summoning dance while you're controlling them. But if she gets hit, you gotta like protect her. It's like protect the egg.
Cool.
It's such a cool mechanic, man.
I only played the first Bayonetta, but her hair, just the whole like the hair is her like health bar, her outfit, her weapon, all at once. Like
almost made
very diegetic kind of thing,
Yeah, and it's just weird enough.
It's so weird. It's such a weird Japanese thing. It's like, of course.
I could have legitimately like made just a list of Platinum games that had the like favorite weapons from Platinum games. Yeah. Yeah, great one. I almost actually picked that one. I'm glad I didn't. I guess I will. My number 9. Number 9 is the X-Buster from Mega Man X.
Man X.
Specifically, not not the Mega Buster,
That's the Mega Buster,
X Buster.
X Buster. What's the
it's
difference other than you have like a higher level of charge with it, right? It does the Hadouken thing.
Yeah, you find the upgrades for it, and it does it can charge all the way up to shoot like the pink like crazy trail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember playing Mega Man X back in the day, and like discovering all of the pieces of his armor. I thought it was the coolest thing
it
ever.
was one of the coolest things because those were it was like the first time like a linear action game had this like really cool like meta progression where like you didn't have to find these pieces.
Exploring.
Like, you had to find the dash boots; those were part of it. But like other than that, the dash boots, the chest plate, the Buster upgrade, and the helmet were all completely optional. And some of them were like really hard to find.
Yeah. That was pre-internet, so like it was either you looked at a GamePro or you talked to someone in school. Super cool.
I played through Mega Man X and never got the chest plate when I was a kid, and I was just like, where even is that? And like, yeah, you have to fight like a mini boss just to get it. And then the song that plays when you find an upgrade, that dun 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 dun, and Dr. Light's like, I am Dr. Light.
Oh, the hologram.
Yeah.
You have found the power armor. Great job, dude.
Good job, you son of a bitch. Back swing.
He teleports and then just goes back to the level. Like,
where'd he go?
We're just there.
We're gonna start a side podcast called "We Just Sing."
Acapella video game music. Like, please stop. Just stop.
Don't. What is your number 8, sir?
My number 8 is it's a controversial one amongst most people.
It getting spicy in here. I need milk.
Here's the mustard and ketchup. It's number 8 from Final Fantasy VIII, the Gunblade. Now, hear me out. It's a sword, and it's a gun. I mean,
but how does that work?
Dude, don't worry about it. Because it's the pinnacle of style over substance.
You press the button right when, no, it's not when you. It's not button timing. It's just.
No, it's like right before the attack animation from Squall. You hit R1.
Yeah, that's right, and then you'll see like a mini like explosion. But where is the bullet coming out of?
On the sides. Yeah, if you look at the model, like.
So they're coming out of the revolver part.
So like I actually looked this up once. He actually doesn't fire rounds. It doesn't fire a round, but it like explodes one like in the chamber. That's why there's no like barrel for a bullet to come out of. It just like the gunpowder just booms and it like vibrates. It like vibrates the blade at the right time. Right, he's about to hit, so he has extra force and it like slices better and deeper.
So the explosion causes a better strike, is what's happening.
Right.
But why the trigger then? Why does it have the trigger guard?
To look cool. Look, man, I opened this with style over substance, man. It's probably the most Nomura thing he's ever designed. Like everyone's like belt, zippers. It's like, dude, the guy has a revolver with a giant knife on the end.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was really cool when I was a kid, but it wasn't until later that I was like, wait, how does it work? He doesn't like fire the blade at anyone. No. He's not shooting the blade off. No. He's not like firing bullets out of the blade. Like, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah. Pure cool factor. It's just
pure coolness.
It's just a giant knife sword that he holds like a revolver. I don't know, man. It's just cool.
Well,
the rest of his outfit isn't cool, but his weapon is really cool.
My number 8 is cooler than yours.
Doubt it.
Because it's Cloud's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII.
Well, it's just a slab of metal, dude. Come on.
It's so cool. It's so cool. It's just like
It's so cool,
it's just like it's just such a ridiculous design. It's also just it's another one of those things that's just cool. I don't know how
that is also style over substance because no one is carrying that thing effectively and using it.
Especially not someone as like Cloud's not skinny, but he's not like
he's like toned.
I wouldn't say
like ripped.
He's not exactly like thick enough to really wield that. Like I think you would need some like pretty big like
if he was like if he was actually Soldier First Class, I'd believe it. But he
oh spoilers.
Dude, throwing shade.
Spoilers, man.
Lying to no one but yourself, Cloud.
Actually it's Zack's Buster Sword.
Actually it's Angeal's Buster Sword.
Actually it's whoever made it for Angeal's Buster Sword.
Oh wait, that is a spoiler. You haven't played. My bad.
I knew that it was. Like actually, well, I've never gotten to play through Crisis Core because I've never owned it, and I got a PSP, but I couldn't find it for like a reasonable amount of money, so I just decided to give up. And then they were like, "Nope, we're remaking it." I'm like, "I'm glad I didn't play it."
That is one game I'm going to buy.
Yes, same.
That sounds like duh, but like I don't buy games often, but that's a game.
That's a game.
That's a game.
December 13th?
14th?
13th. 17th. The 19th.
41st?
Yeah, Crisis Core. I'm excited. I never got to play it. I've watched a lot of videos on it and stuff. So I actually watched a video walkthrough of the story just so that I had I knew the story of it. I kind of wish I wouldn't have, but now I'm okay with it. Like I did because it explains a lot.
You should remember how just god awful Genesis was and how he should have been just retconned out of the entire Final Fantasy VII universe. But that's another conversation. Another
time. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is this one's a little spooky. It's a little spooky.
Oh, I'm scared.
it's the plasma cutter from Dead Space.
Dead Space, yeah. That's a really good one.
Like I really loved playing through that game the first time. And like just like the fact that it was just like a piece of mining equipment and like Isaac's just like this nerd. Like he's like an engineer. Like he's not this superhero. He's just like an engineer with some mining equipment, and the fact that you can like
angle it, yeah,
and horizontally and aim off certain body parts of the creatures, super cool. And then like the limited ammo and everything, and things are coming at you, and you have to like switch horizontal and I cut his legs off.
Awesome. Yeah, the fact that it was the anti Resident Evil in the way that you don't shoot for the head, you shoot these things. You have to shoot their arms off. That's what and so you're constantly having to switch between to cut the arms, to sever the arms off. Yeah, that was a terrifying game.
They're remaking that, right?
Yeah, comes out next year. In July or February.
I hope they don't modernize it too much.
I don't know.
Like too many quality of life stuff.
I played a chunk of 2. I played a lot more of 2 than I did the first one or the third one, and I liked. It felt like kind of like a really really spooky Metroid game because he would go to this place. You get like the new upgraded version of the suit and stuff, and the way you got weapons.
One of the first games I remember that like flouted like the in-game diegetic HUD, because like all the HUD information was on the back of his suit.
Right.
That was
your ammo count was on like little.
That was so cool. Remember, like because it left the picture totally clear.
Yeah,
added to the immersion. Like, this is spookies.
Immersion, bruh. Yeah, no. The game was really scary though.
Yes,
I don't like scary games. So, but like
spooky. I like spooky stuff.
If you think about it, though, a lot of horror games are Metroidvanias. Like first couple Resident Evil, they're definitely Metroidvanias.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's like find a thing.
Lost in a place, you have to find your way out.
Speaking of Metroidvanias,
Ow. I burped.
Number 7. Is it me? It's my turn, right?
Yes, totally.
Number 7. My number 7 is the Vampire Killer Whip.
I knew you were gonna do Vampire Killer.
Of course you did. Well, I was gonna do a weapon from Symphony of the Night. There's just too many of them. Too many amazing weapons in that game. I'm just like, I'll just go with the classic Vampire Killer Whip. It's not a lot to say on this one. It's a Belmont family whip that is made for killing vampires. And
we can talk about this. How do you think what makes it a vampire killer? Like, do they integrate silver and is there a garlic clove at the end? Like, what's going on there?
It's a whip made by the family.
Okay.
There's like I do believe there's like there it's an enchanted whip.
It's okay, so it's like imbued with some type of holy power.
Yeah, it has a whole I believe like if I'm making this up, please let me know someone. But I'm pretty sure that the original design has like a fold out cross as the hilt. It's like a cross inside of a thing, and it's also imbued with holy magic. And I believe it's made of silver, like as well. There's like silver in there. Like, I mean, there's a lot of because he uses the vampire killer in the anime, which is incredible. I mean, it's not really an anime, it's like a cartoon.
I watched the first season. It was pretty cool. I haven't followed up on it.
It's so good. It's so good. But yes, Vampire Killer. My number 7. I love it. I love it. A whip. Hey.
Wow.
What's the number 6?
It's also from Halo. I'm doing a Halo weapon. The freaking Needler, bro.
There's more than one weapon in Halo?
I love the Needler.
I hate you.
I love you can dual wield them, like the sound they made, and then like when you pump a dude full of them, and they just explode and die, and then the reload animation. It was just. I love the whole aesthetic. Like I'm like that's.
I loved when I would be Mr. Badass, like soldier, like turn the corner. I got my battle rifle, and I'm like, and this dude has 2 needlers, and then I'm dead. I'm like, that was some bullshit.
Well, and then maybe you should stop using the basic as BR, bro.
Because the needler sucks at a distance, but if you get someone right close up, it's stupid. But
that's why you get 2 of them, and you just bum rush people, man.
Can you dual wield in Halo 2, or was that Halo 3? It was Halo 2, right?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
It's been decades since I've played those games.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments below.
In the comments below, let us know.
It like looks alien enough and acts alien enough, and the animations are cool. The sounds are cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I like it in like campaign.
See, I played like high majority of just campaign. Surprising, right? Like I didn't play a lot of deathmatch. So campaign, it's awesome.
You're awesome. More like a campaign in my ass. Speaking of that, my number 6 is the Hyper Beam from Super Metroid.
Hyper Beam.
It's also in Metroid. It is the distilled essence of Mother Brain's power given to you by a Metroid. It's a boss weapon. It's like it's an end game weapon that's really only for spectacle. Huh?
Omnislash.
Yeah, it's Omnislash.
Got Omnislash for the final boss, and he's dead.
Yeah, it's a Metroid leeches Mother Brain's energy and then gives it to Samus and turns her plasma beam into a hyper beam, which shoots out rainbow.
Or into Super, right?
Um,
Whenever the Metroid comes back.
yeah,
So
at the end of Super Metroid.
So
it's like again one of the coolest moments in video games ever, especially for the '90s. Like you weren't expecting a cinematic like comeback, like twist, like twists in Super Nintendo games are like what?
Didn't happen like outside of role playing games. They didn't have it.
But I believe the Hyper Beam's also in Metroid Prime. It's been so long since I played those games, but I believe it's in the first Metroid Prime when you're fighting Ridley at the end. You get Metroid, you get the Hyper Beam for that fight too, but I don't know how. I don't remember how you get it.
Metroid Prime, great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Every single one of those games has such a great soundtrack. But yeah, Prime especially. Dun, 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 dun,
like, the game boots up and you hear this like
yeah,
cool, creepy.
Dude, the sound design in Metroid Prime is like incredible.
Actually, in pretty much all the Metroid games.
Yes,
good sound work, man.
It just atmosphere, sound design in those games is always top notch.
Just like if they're like inspired by like really great sci-fi movies or something.
I don't think Metroid is. I don't think it is.
I don't think either. I was going somewhere, but I don't think.
No, Ridley's definitely not named after Ripley. There's just no way. It's too different. One's a D, one's a P.
Like,
it's completely different.
Look alike.
They barely look alike.
Like a P and a D doesn't even look.
Like their nose is similar, but like that's it. What's the number 5?
Number 5 is also from a Metal Gear Solid game.
No way.
It's from number 4, which also had a ton of freaking weapons. That game had a lot of weapons. It was like 70 something guns. Like, what's going on? It is the railgun, because you rip off Rex's railgun.
Yeah.
And you just wreak havoc with it for the rest of the game.
That is a really, really cool weapon.
And just the fact that like you just rip it off of the boss of the first game that's just been sitting there for 14 years rotting, and you're like, oh hey, I'll take this. Carry it around.
I take this and I take it.
Geriatric Solid Snake just
bag it up for me, Masha. I'm ready to check out.
Yeah. And then when you get it, I'm sure you remember when you get it when you're at Shadow Moses and like has that split screen action moment where like where Old Snake is fighting off all of the geckos with the railgun, and then the second half of the screen is Raiden and Vamp like doing their thing. Yeah. You're like, I want to pay attention, but I'll die.
I recently had an argument with a coworker on whether or not that was a boss fight, whether or not Vamp that was a boss fight in a video game.
What do you mean, the Vamp versus Raiden?
Well, because you do fight Vamp at first, and then you have to hold off because you have to stick him with the needle.
You have to deactivate
it. It's like a short little boss fight, and you stick him with a needle, and then you got to hold off the geckos while Raiden fights Vamp. I would still call that a boss fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you box Kojima in, coworker? Okay.
Yeah. Suck it, Tim.
Dang. But yeah. Just like the whole like it's Rex's railgun. The end. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a good choice. That's a good one. You should have picked the syringe.
the little EpiPen. My nanomachines are deactivating.
Oh, you're a human.
Oh my gosh, like my cancer's coming back. Don't you love me? And how? Oh, I'm sad. All the women in my life keep dying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
poor Hal.
It's a good game. I want to replay that game so bad.
It's like the best worst game, honestly. That's probably we talked about best worst games or worst best games.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
It's a mess. It is a mess.
You're a mess.
But it's like the most glorious, amazing mess you're ever gonna see in a franchise.
Disagree. Pass.
Yeah. Let's see what's your number whatever we're at.
My number wherever we're at.
Okay.
5 is the Leviathan axe from God of War 2018 and God of War 2022.
It feels good.
Of course it is. It feel like literally you get a rumble in the controller when it returns to you. It just there's not a lot of weapons in games that just feel incredible. And like I can't remember the last time I had a weapon where I would just like walk around and just chunk it as far as I could, and then just like wait for it, and then like it would land, and then just like press triangle, and you just hear that, and you just catch it every time. Like what they knew that you wanted to feel like Thor with Mjolnir. I was like, can you imagine what kind of game if they made like a Marvel Thor game? I mean, I don't think they would now because of the
I know the last two Thor movies have been extremely popular, so it's a possibility.
Yeah, I like the last couple. But yeah, I don't know, that weapon is incredible. Not to mention that they add on to it in the new game, where now you hold down triangle to imbue it with ice, and then it like has its own like different move set.
Oh, you can like change its.
I love like one of my favorite things is also like when you're about to throw it, if you kind of hold it back and charge it up a little bit, he like throws it, and instead of it just like sticking at an enemy, well, that's still already cool, but it'll just fly around them and like spin and do like all kinds of chip damage, just like and then when you don't have it, you'll just like be brawling, but there's this button combo you can hit like I don't freaking remember. I can't like do it in my head. But you press a combination of buttons, and if Kratos doesn't have the axe, he'll just run and do a jumping he'll jump in midair, and then the axe will just come and hit his hand right as he's striking down. It's so cool.
That is sick.
So freaking cool, man. I love it so much. It's such a good. I mean, it's like tailor made to be on this list. Yeah. What's your number 5?
Mine is going back in time a little bit. Go back to Super Mario Kart, or just Mario Kart in general. Mario Kart. The 3 red shell, baby. The 3 red shell.
I was gonna say, don't you say the blue shell. You better say the 3 red shells, because the 3 red shells is better.
Like 3 red shells. When I get 3 red shells, I feel so good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm really looking. I'm just looking for affirmation.
Top.
Like I'm like, if someone tries to attack me, I'm defended. If someone comes in front of me, I'm gonna hit him. If someone drives beside me, I'll hit them.
I can't. See, that's the thing. And when you get the blue shell, it means you're in last place. But if you get the red shells, you're not always necessarily that far back.
Right. They put those like
middle. You'd be like in 5th place and still get the red shell.
I love that. Or that, or like the star, where you just like run people over. It's fun.
Yeah, the stars.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. That's good. But yeah,
you could say the star in general, just of overall Mario games, it's just like a really good weapon.
Just you're invincible, and when you jump, you go.
Yeah,
it's cool.
When I first saw the flip in Mario 3, I was like, "What? What? How they do that?"
It was a game changer, man.
It did change that game.
It did.
Yeah,
it's a quick one. It's 3 red shells. What can you say about 3 red shells? It's the best thing.
Another one of those. It's a Stone Cold classic. Yeah, it's like it's like the battle rifle. It's like
it's just it's the best and the simplest and the most effective.
Some say it's too effective.
No, the losers say that. Are you a loser? I
got to be alone. Turn
the camera off.
Turn the camera. Go away. Stop filming me.
Stop looking at me.
Number 4 is gosh, it's
Gosh,
like the most obvious thing. It's like, is this a weapon from a Platinum game? Yeah. Is this also a weapon from Metal Gear? Yeah. I wonder what it is. Maybe it's the high frequency blade.
Blade, that Jeff Blade.
Like, I mean, come on. Raiden's katana is the like coolest.
Yeah, it's
The
the
coolest.
coolest sci-fi katana you're ever gonna, or sci-fi sword. A sword that's not like a fantasy sword. That's gonna be
Yeah,
your best bet.
like a sword based on technology
See,
over.
it brings back to the gunblade. Like the gunblade, because like a high frequency blade, it's constantly vibrating at a high frequency, so it could cut through anything. Right? That's like how the science works.
What's cool?
Theoretically, that's how the gunblade works for a split second. And it vibrates the gunblade. That's why you
Now,
have to do it. You have to fire right before you hit an enemy. Bam.
now you can tell me this because I can't remember much. Because obviously I remember. Obviously he uses it throughout 4 and throughout um, Metal Gear Rising, but it's introduced in
At the
2.
at the end of the two.
At the end, he's not the sword he uses in the beginning,
What do you mean?
right? Because when you switch over, or wait, is he not even using a sword yet?
No, he goes in naked. Yeah.
So it's the sword he gets at the end.
Yeah.
It's the high frequency blade. See, like I 2 has been the one that's been the longest since I've played it.
Yeah.
I think like I very vaguely like you use it to fight Solidus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
On top of Federal Hall. Yeah.
So but yeah, it's just in that game it's like kind of like a basics, like it's a cool sword.
Yeah.
But then in
Well controlled all.
and then in Metal Gear 4, it's like you get to watch him use it, and you're like, that is so freaking cool. I want to be that. I want to do that. And then in Metal Gear Rising, they're like, here you go.
You
Here
don't
you
just
go.
do that. You get to do that times like 100,000.
You want to cut an entire staircase in half? Go for it, pal. Like, and that also goes back to the whole like just the fun weapon, like where you're like literally deciding which way you want to. Like I would just stand out there. That first level, I would just like cut that staircase into like 40
You
pieces.
never kill the cat though. The ninja cat. Remember the cat on the beach?
Oh yeah.
It's like he would constantly dodge every attack. It's like, cat, you're so fast.
You're so fast, Mr. Cat.
Cat.
How'd you get so fast? Crazy fast.
Yeah, but it's like Ryan is like, yeah, especially in Revengeance. Like the game opens with you just slicing a ray into like little meat pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is going on? That's not even the boss of the first level. It's like the opening.
It's the opening, yeah, where he like runs up the like arm of it or whatever, or like, and then he just
You just
and
slice
or
it.
remember when you're like stepping on the missiles?
Yeah. I played that game is really, really small, like short. Like you can beat it in like 7 hours. Super short game. So I'll
Yeah.
boot every once in a while just because it's so short, and every time it's so like it's like a B movie. It's just like this is just like I just want to like watch something dumb, exciting, and just like do cool stuff.
Yes. Yes. It's
Like,
very much. It is so good. It's so good. Like, yeah, that weapon is just the quintessential katana.
yeah.
Was it? And that's actually saying a lot because I'm a big katana boy.
Big katana boys.
There's a lot of katanas in video
There's a
games
lot
that
of katana boys out there, but pretty big.
pretty big. I'm a pretty big katana guy. You could ask a lot of my friends; they would tell you that I'm a pretty big katana guy.
My friend, and I can tell you, he's a big katana guy.
He's pretty big. He's pretty big. Jesus, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is also a sword.
There's
Now,
swords in games.
now this one doesn't have a name, and it's not really like. Well, it's from Xenogears, and one of the characters, Satan,
He's been to the desert with a sword with no
doesn't have
name.
the entire game. Like pretty much like 70% of the game, he's a kung fu dude. like Fei.
Mhm. Fei Long.
And events happen. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's the greatest game ever made. I'm not going to spoil anything about that. But he receives this sword from his past that he's been reluctant to use out of principles, and now he picks it up again, and like his entire moveset changes, all of his battle animations change, and this is like they're like pixel art. You've seen Xenogears.
That's been more impressive though when battle animations change with its pixel art.
All of his combos and death blows change. His battle animation, his gear it carries a sword now. Like everything about the character, like combat wise, changes, and it's like you were my favorite character before, but now you're my best character ever.
So there's no name though. It never has a name. Not even canonically on like some crazy like wiki.
No,
wiki.
not that I've ever looked up. I've never been able to find a name for it. It's just a sword that his wife gives him. That like it was her dad's sword, but like she gives it to him and he takes it and it's like, oh my gosh, Satan, you're even more awesome.
Into the desert with
it's an amazing sword. Like it's a character changer, but it doesn't even have a name, and like it's just like that somehow makes it even cooler.
I like it.
Mysterious.
I like these.
Just like Satan, very mysterious.
I like these. I like these. Sword with no name. I should write a song.
You should. Yeah, that's good.
My number tray.
Numero.
Ein gravity gun.
That's from that game.
From Half-Life.
Half-Life
2.
I never played Half-Life 2. Cards on the table.
Again, just talking about a gun, a weapon that not only has story implications, but is also really fun to use because it just picks up anything. And so you can pick up barrels and just like chunking barrels.
Half-Life?
Huh?
Was it in Half-Life 1 now?
I don't think so.
Because I've only played the first one, and I vaguely remember playing around with it, but maybe I'm just
no, because the professor like makes it for you.
Okay.
In Half-Life, you don't even start with Half-Life 2 with it. Like you actually have to get it. I mean, if it is, I never finished 1, so it maybe it is in there, but like I never beat the first game.
I don't think so. I think I'm just confusing memories. Yeah, but I've seen it and it looks cool.
I mean, you could pick up like little like saw blades that are like sitting on the on like the sidelines and like pull them to you with a gravity gun and then like wait till like a dude's like walking around at you and then shoot it, just cut their head off and like I got him. But then the coolest thing and the reason it like puts it so high on my list is not only is it just an incredibly fun and engaging weapon throughout the game and it's got story implications, but at the end you get to a certain area where it becomes overdrive, like it goes into overpower mode, and you can then on pick up anything with it, or any enemy. So like you're literally just launching enemies like off of like balconies and like because you're on these like giant catwalks at the end. You're like in this like crazy like facility, and it's like you're really high up, and it just wants you to just be picking people up and launching them off of the side of this thing. And
That's good game design.
there's mobs of dudes coming at you, but you have your gun has been so upgraded. You're just like, and you're just like, you just feel like such a powerhouse. It's that Metroid moment, like where you get the hyper beam. It's like, dude, this is quintessential gaming right here.
Like, no, I like to be rewarded like that in a game. Like the end game, just like you can have moments that are really hard, but like give me a long amount of time where I can just like be overpowered, be like, thank you. I've put all this time in this game. Thank you.
I'm a huge fan of the like pre-in-game overpower area where they give you like some new mechanic that's just like what, and then you like get to use it like a little bit, and then like maybe the last boss is like pretty tough, but like you at least like they give you like a little playground to mess with your new toy. They definitely do that here.
First is in older RPGs where they'd have the most powerful like items and equipment and stuff in the last dungeon. It's like, you guys are dumb. Like, what am I gonna get the stuff and then like use it
then
for 10
then
minutes?
yeah,
Bad design. I hated that.
don't do it.
Don't do it. They don't do no more. Of course, I don't make games like that anymore. So,
Oh, it's so close. And Selma, what did you number 2?
number 2, it it's really fun to say the name of it, so I'm just gonna say it. Monado. Was that your number 2? Was that your number 1?
2. It's my number 2. You
Oh
my God.
the Monado's power.
To let everyone know, we did not before this episode. We did not talk about what either one of us was picking. I was actually really surprised that neither of us had picked the same thing so far.
But it's a slot too.
As soon as you said it was fun to say, I was like,
but like its design is absolutely incredibly cool. Like, it's the coolest lightsaber I've ever seen in my life. Like, it has awesome story implications. The weapon you get at the very beginning, and it grows with the character, which more games should like do stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's just freaking awesome. Awesome weapon.
Those who don't know, the Monado is from Xenoblade Chronicles, the series ish, mostly from 1. But there is a Monado-esque sword in each of the Xenoblade Chronicles games, but there's not one called the Monado that is the same functionality or has the same story.
Say it like Shulk.
The Monado!
The Monado!
The Monado. It's the Monado. Is that the Monado? No, that's not the Monado.
Is that the Monado?
Wait, no, it's the Monado? No. No, that's the Monado over there. That's
the Duado. We're looking for the Monado.
What happened? Where's the Monado? Yeah, it's full of amazing British voice acting and an amazing sword. And yeah, no, that I love that sword so much. It's literally a great sword and a lightsaber. It's the 2 coolest swords. It's like Cloud's Buster Sword mixed with the freaking lightsaber and a better color palette.
Yeah. Okay. Just the whole design of it is stellar.
And the fact that like it awakens in different like stages. That's like, it starts out as like a great sword, and then it turns into like, and then it and it's like there's even moves that use like the blade just like flies up out of the like top of it for like 20 feet or something. It's like it's an incredible weapon. That's a great number 2. I'm really interested to hear what your number 1 is.
You're never gonna guess my number 1.
You're never gonna guess my number 1. It's not the Monado.
It's not the Monado no more.
All
right. I guess I'll do my number 1 then, since we both did our number 2s.
I think you should go. It's the Monado. Okay, I'm done. I promise.
All right, my number 1. Mine aren't in any order. But my last one of my list, it is a video game weapon, but it's not a video game weapon. It's a weapon for video games. It's the NES Zapper, baby. Duck Hunt. Plop, plop.
Okay. Well, actually,
like Super Scope.
Okay. So you're going really like meta with this whole thing, huh? Like the weapon you use.
It's a video game. It's a video game weapon.
Yeah, no, it is.
In game, when you're playing Duck Hunt, you're using that weapon to Duck. I have very, very fond memories of playing Duck Hunt. It was the only game I could ever get my dad to play ever. Maybe like once or twice. It was shooting stuff, you know.
That might be the same. That might be the only weapon I could, or weapon. That might be. I could get my dad to use tons of weapons. Not the only video game that my dad would play, because I was like, you just have to point it. You don't have to hold the controller.
You just gotta shoot things. And like the design, it's such a freaking cool looking gun. And like
So cool.
still, like the sound it makes, the click, and then the reverberating spring. Ding, ding. Still remember, it's great. Yeah.
And it actually is in a game because you can get the zapper in Splatoon. It's a gun in Splatoon that is this zapper. It's actually a pretty good weapon in the game too. So it is does qualify in both ways.
Ooh. Yeah, that's my coup de grace, the NES zapper.
That's a good one. That's a bit of a.
You never were gonna guess that one.
I didn't know.
Like what?
How would I have known to guess that one? That's good. That's a good answer. Well, it's time for my number one.
What's your number?
But before I tell you my number one, I gotta go number two.
No.
Should have had this prepared, but I didn't. The Master Sword, my friend.
Look at that.
Anyways, yeah, it's that one.
Thought we were gonna do.
I mean,
sword.
What else can I say about the Master Sword?
I don't know. It's just in the podcast right now. I mean, what else is there?
The fact that I own a replica of it, and I own multiple different sizes of. I guess I could have just grabbed the little one, huh?
No.
But yeah, I mean,
say about it.
It's
like the design is
the game.
Slick looking. I love the design of the Master Sword. Like the hilt and the everything about it is freaking cool looking.
It's like it's one of those timeless designs. It like is it's got functionality, it's got story implications, it's got
so good when you get it. It feels so good when you pull it out every time. I pulled that sword out of so many stones. I can't even count how many times I've pulled that sword out of a stone. But every time, it feels so good.
And there's even games that do twists on it where you're like in Skyward Sword, you're using the Goddess sword, and then you're like, well, I guess I don't get the Master Sword in this one, and then it like transforms. It was always the Master. You're like, what a twist. But yeah, I mean it's. And you have full hearts. You can shoot laser beams at. Come on.
Full health. You can shoot freaking.
Yeah. It's the quintessential like most like.
I think it's the
important video game weapon of all time. I mean, like. I don't know
what could possibly they integrated it into the logo of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
It used to just be the shield, but then they added that sword, and it's like, all right, it's over.
It's over. It's over now. I thought about picking other Zelda weapons that weren't the Master Sword because I felt the Master Sword may be too obvious. But
double hook shot.
The hook shot was one. Fire and ice rods.
Double hook shot.
The double fire rods.
The like the spinny top thing from Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah, what is that called?
The spinny top thing.
The Beyblade. The boomerang, of course, classic.
All the weapons in that series, pretty much.
I'm a big fire ice rod fan. Ever since Link to the Past, and you get the fire rod, I was like, what? Pew pew.
Yeah, pew.
The bow. that game brought bow like arrows to like video game. Like I don't remember playing a video game before that had like bow and arrow combat.
Not like that. Like not like action oriented stuff that was like tactical.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
That's
it's the freaking Master Sword.
It's the freaking Master Sword. You pull it out of the thing, and then you do really strong, and you go the Sword of Evil's Bane. You go smash Ganon in the face.
Yeah, and then Ganon goes, and you go, and he go.
But you don't need a Master Sword to bounce it back. You can bounce it back with like a twig or something.
Another good one's like bow of light or light arrows, whichever way you want to go about that. It's a good one. I also wanted to go with medallions. Like
yeah.
Quake medallion,
Yeah.
Ether medallion, and
what
was the other one? Bombos medallion.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of explosions.
I think that yes, the Bombos, that's a medallion where he's like, shing, and he's like fire goes around him, and then you're like, that's super cool, and it's like wait, and it goes. But the Quake one I always thought was cool because he takes the Master Sword and he jumps and he like slams it into the ground, and then like that was a cool animation for the Super Nintendo, especially at that time.
So number one is the Legend of Zelda franchise.
Yeah, just all just the game.
Just all of it.
Yeah, I weaponized the entire series.
Well, Nintendo's definitely done that.
Well, folks, that's all the weapons we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed us naming random pieces of weaponry from random video games, but our time together has come to an end. You need to go home. You gotta go home.
You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. Right?
We should write a song.
It should be a song. Like an
opening
time. Opening time. No, not opening time. What's the opposite of opening?
Closing.
That's it. Closing time.
I think we got a banger.
We got it.
Hey, have a good night. Go pet a donkey.